Welcome to class 8 students. This is the continuation part of the chapter ecosystem. In my previous video I started this chapter and I have discussed with you the concept of ecosystem and also have told you what is ecology, from where the term is derived from, who first used this term, and then I told you that the components of ecosystem are, means the ecosystem, the total components of ecosystem can be divided into two broad categories: the biotic components and the abiotic components. What are the biotic components? The living organisms come under the biotic components, like the plants, animals, microorganisms. Okay, and under the abiotic components, what do they include? Air, water, soil, different climatic factors like sunlight, temperature, humidity, wind, air pressure, etc. Come under the abiotic component. So I told you that we are not going to, means we are all grown up now, we are not going to use the words living and non-living, and instead we are going to use biotic and abiotic components to refer to these kind of things. Okay, now let's talk about the biotic components in details. I told you previously that the biotic components includes, what do they include? They include the plants, animals and the microorganisms, all the living organisms on our planet. Okay, but this means we cannot categorize them as plants, animals and microorganisms, right? We have to categorize them according to their function. Okay, see, all the living organisms in an ecosystem, namely plants, animals and microorganisms, form its biotic components. Depending on how they obtain their food, living organisms can be divided into three groups. So depending on how they obtain their food, how they obtain their nutrition, there are three broad categories under biotic components. The first one is producers. Who are the producers? The green plants. The green plants are the producers. Okay, we will talk about details about each in details. Number 2 is the consumers. Again, consumers have many categories. Again, we will talk about that later on. And number 3 is decomposers. Okay, so these are the three broad categories under biotic components. Producers, which are basically the green plants, they are known as producers because they trap the sunlight and they perform photosynthesis, and that is how we, all other organisms, get the energy, get food directly or indirectly from the plants. So the plants are the only green plants are the only living organisms who can trap the solar energy, and they have all the components in them to perform photosynthesis, to convert solar energy into food energy. Okay, so let's read about the producers from your book. All living organisms need energy for their survival. The ultimate source of energy on earth is solar energy. Only green plants have the ability to use this solar energy. No other living organism have the ability to trap solar energy, because only chlorophyll can do that, and chlorophyll is only present in green leaves. In no other organisms chlorophyll is found. So chlorophyll can activate the photon particles of the sunlight, and which starts the process of photosynthesis. Green plants make their own food in the presence of sunlight using water, minerals and carbon dioxide. Thus green plants are also known as producers or autotrophs. Autotrophs meaning those who can prepare their own food. Auto mean on their own. Okay, so we are done with producers, which are the green plants. Moving on to the second category, which is consumers. Living organisms that cannot make their own food but consume either plants or animals are called consumers or heterotrophs. Consumer, the word comes from the verb consume. Consume means to obtain. So they will obtain food from others because they cannot make their own food, because obviously they are not the producers or the green plants. So they need to depend on other organisms for their nutrition, and that is why they are also known as heterotrophs. Okay, autotroph, heterotroph, you all know these terms from your lower classes. Okay, now consumers, they depend on the green plants directly or indirectly. All animals are consumers. They are further divided into, you all know these things, herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. So these consumers are divided into 3 further categories: herbivores, omnivores, first herbivore, then carnivore and then omnivore. Okay, so what are the herbivores? Animals that eat green plants are called herbivores or primary consumers, for example deer, horse, elephant and so on. Next, so you all know what are herbivores. Next, coming to the carnivores, animals that eat other living animals are called carnivores or secondary consumers. So we can call these levels as herbivore, carnivore, omnivore, or as primary consumer, secondary consumer and tertiary consumer. Okay, primary means first level, secondary means second level and tertiary means third level. Okay. So, for example, tiger, lion, leopard and so on all come under carnivores. Third category or the tertiary consumers are the omnivores. Who are the omnivores? We are the omnivores. That means those who eat both green plants and other animals, those who feed on both. Okay, some animals that eat both plants and other animals are known as omnivores. For example, human beings, crow, cockroach, bear and so on all come under omnivores or the tertiary level of consumers. Now, some carnivores that feed on dead animals are known as scavengers. A term scavenger, I hope you must have heard it previously. Those who scavenge means they feed on dead and decaying matters and dirty stuff. They feed on those things and that is why they are known as scavengers, means they find out all these dirty things and then they eat on them. For example, hyena, vulture, jackal, all these are scavengers and obviously they fall under the category of consumers. Okay, so we are done with producers and consumers. Next, let's go on to the decomposers. So, from the word decomposer, you can understand that they decompose something, means they feed on something in such a way that those food on which they are feeding, they will get decomposed or rotten. Okay. In addition to producers and consumers, there are some microscopic organisms that feed on the dead bodies of organisms and decaying organic matter. They are called decomposers. For example, certain bacteria and fungi. Decomposers break down the complex organic compounds present in the remains of dead plants and animals into simpler substances. So, suppose if a rat has died somewhere and we see that the next day ants and bacteria and fungi and some other insects are feeding on that dead ant, and what actually happens is that they are feeding on that dead and decaying organic matter and they are deriving the nutrition from that dead rat. So, the rat is dead now, but it had some nutrition when it was alive, right. So, these decomposers, when they are feeding on that dead rat, dead and decaying rat, they are deriving whatever leftover nutrition is there, and ultimately if it is on the forest floor, the rat will after some time will get mixed up with the forest floor, and what it will do, it will increase the fertility of the soil. Okay. They are useful in releasing nutrients from dead and decaying organisms back into the environment. See, these nutrients are reused by the plants, thus decomposers help in recycling of nutrients. Decomposers are also called nature's scavengers. So, here scavenger, you already got to know what scavengers are, but decomposers and scavengers, we cannot call hyena, vulture, jackal as decomposers because they eat other things as well, but decomposers are only those microscopic organisms that feed on dead and decaying organisms. Okay. So, I hope these three are very much clear to you all. Next, I will start with the interactions with biotic components. Okay. I will start that in the next video. Thank you.